This is 5 Days Live, and waving at the moment is Lynda. Hello, Lynda.
Good day, Stephen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's going to be an exciting show, and we're going to be
Yes.
talking about, how to start your own talk show, which is something that you started back in October.
Yes. I'm really excited to talk about this topic because when I first had the idea to have my own talk show, I just let it sit for a while, about a year actually. And so to talk about this topic is fun for me because it's the process that we are currently in with our show, Taco Tuesday. I want to take you guys through the process, not like, okay, here we are on the show. That's awesome. But what do we go through before that happens? What are some of the things that need to be in place before you can actually put a talk show out there if you want to make sure that you got get some viewers and are able to do what you want to do, whether it's impact lives or make money or whatever it is that you want to do with your talk show. Excited.
That's a good review of where we're at, and we've come a long way since October on Taco
Yes.
Tuesday. And just a shout out for the show, if you want to join the show tomorrow, it's on the screen now, and it's near-death experiences. We'd like to talk a little bit about that, Lynda, and I'll
This is
rummage around.
exciting because we're actually now, this is the launch of the show starting tomorrow, January 8th, 12 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. UK time, and excited to launch this particular topic for me, near-death experiences, because I actually met a woman and man. Their story is amazing. I can't wait to share them with you. That's Scarlett and David. They're married, but their story is you're gonna be like, what? Really? Did that really happen? I don't know if I believe it or not, but it's so you're going to be like that. I believe it. So it's going to be an amazing show. And then Marcus recently had a near-death experience himself, and so he's going to share that with us. I don't know anything about his, so I'm excited to hear about that as well. We hear about near-death experiences. We hear about it on TV and stuff, but have you ever talked to somebody who has actually had it? So this is your opportunity to interact with our guests as well as with me and our co-host, Anita and Mary. And we'll talk about that process too, of how I got the co-host and how we get guests. Today we're going to talk about lighting. We're going to talk about audio. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things that are going to help you to have a successful talk show.
Totally. And this is 5 Days Live, and I suppose we've got to start off with, yes, five, definitely five. What is a talk show? Now, on the face of it, it's simple and straightforward, isn't it? It's people getting together live on Facebook or on Twitch to actually have a discussion about a topic that they've decided beforehand, which they know something about, and they're there to actually spread the knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 2 or more people, right? You can have, on Be Live, you can have up to 4 people total on your screen. So that's why we're able to have me with 2 co-hosts plus, guests, because we can have up to 4 people on screen. And so you decide, what it is you want to do, what topics do you want to cover, and we'll talk about that really, quickly on a Taco Tuesday as far as topics goes. It's funny because I did an audition process, which we'll share with you how we did that. But during the audition process, people kept asking me, what are the topics? What are the topics? What are the topics? And I was like, I don't know, because I don't know who my co-hosts are yet. Because I wanted to make sure that the topics that we were going to discuss were going to be ones that me and the co-host decided on, not that I decided on. And so it's been an interesting process because I've been able to include them in all of the process. And Stephen is the producer of our show, Taco Tuesday. So having him as the producer, of course, him having his input as well. So it's been a fun process incorporating other people into the show. You don't have to do it alone. It's kind of like my bottom line here. You don't have to do this alone. You can have a team with you that helps you to put it out there, to make it successful, to have fun. There's so many different things you can do with your talk show.
Totally, and you can go in any direction you want, and it can either be. The first question you came up with is basically, when you're having a talk show, should you have a co-host?
Yeah, and it's up to you. What do you want? So Stephen and I actually have a show every Thursday called Just Do It. And that's our own talk show. And we're just talking about different things that happen in our lives. We can invite people to join us as guests, if they want to join us. And, but a lot of times people don't join us as guests on the show. But the thing is that we decided it was going to be just the two of us, and our topic was going to be Just Do It. So our talk show, again, is talking about different things, talking about different topics that have to do with just doing it. And we are both co-hosts for the show. So it's just the way we decided to do that particular show. Now, I personally cannot see Stephen on the screen right now. I'm not sure what happened. But can you hear me, Stephen? Okay, I can't hear him either. So I'm not sure if he's still running the board or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and come back in case he can hear me. So I'll be right back, and hopefully he's there. I'm back. But I can't hear Stephen. So I'm going to go back out, and I'm going to try to come back in. So see you in a bit.
I'm back too. Right, okay, whenever you're running a show, the thing that's going to happen is things are not going to go perfectly. And I'm just trying to sort out the messaging here, because I've got a situation where, and this will happen from time to time. Welcome to the show. Hopefully Lynda will be back in a minute. I just need to adjust my screen. This is take 2, and you can tell very occasionally you have one of those shows when things do not go exactly according to plan. Now, I lost the ability to actually show comments on the screen then, and now I'm okay. And I want to say hello to Tina, who's I can't show the comment. Okay, I want to say hello to Tina, Barbara, and Duvra, and welcome to the show. I'm hoping that Lynda does make it back. A show where we're actually showing people how to run a talk show, and we don't have a talk show. There's a moral there somewhere. And I can't actually show the comments on screen. And this has been reported earlier. And I'm just hoping that somebody from support is actually tuning in here, and hopefully that's better. So I'm back. Yeah, okay. I can't show you comments, but I will read them out. I tried refreshing. That went supremely well in that I arrived back and Lynda has disappeared. Cheryl was supposed to join us on the show today, but can't. So this is real life. I say hello to Kelly. Kelly, hello, welcome to the show. I can't show you on screen, but hopefully in a moment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bam! I'm back.
Brilliant. I've got a technical problem in that I can't show comments on screen. I can show the agenda, but I can't show comments. So I'll read the comments out as they arrive.
Okay.
And we'll take it from there. But this is live. Things go wrong. And the thing is, what you noticed there, neither of us panicked, and we didn't curse publicly. We're very, very good about that. We actually cursed quietly, and we're going on with the show.
Yeah, and that's a great point right there, right? Because here we are doing this is not really a talk show style, but kind of a talk show style, because we're two co-hosts putting on a show, and if you can keep your calm, then it's more likely that your guests and or co-hosts will keep their calm as well. I actually was doing one show once, and I remember somebody said, well, Lynda's calm, so I guess I'll be calm. I remember them saying that. It was really funny because I didn't even realize that they noticed that I was calm. But, you know, when you do your first show, you might have bumbles, and you know what? It's okay. It's okay because you're making your way through it. You're doing what you want to do. You're sharing somebody with your audience. And that's what I love about doing my talk shows, really, is having an opportunity to share incredibly amazing people with my audience, people that they wouldn't otherwise meet. And it's so much fun for me. So much fun. I love interviewing. It's just a blast.
Totally. And basically, we used to burst our stuff with shows, and we were solo. We're on our own, talking to people and listening to people. And then we went to interviewing people, and then we went to the talk show. And
Yep.
I think that the talk show format, first of all, we've sort of touched on host it by yourself or with a co-host. I think the thing that you said earlier about actually having a producer as well, I think a producer can benefit a show. I mean, I noticed in the Belivers group the other day, somebody was asking for a producer for her show.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody was willing to produce her show, she would produce theirs. Now,
oh, interesting. That's awesome.
That does sound like making work for yourself, because you're actually appearing in two shows rather than one, but you're actually making a new contact. And the thing is that you can actually learn from how they actually do their show. Now, you and I have been working together for a while now, let's just say a while, and we can take signals from each other, and we can swap topics, we can do a whole range of things, and that only comes through getting to know each other and how we actually operate on a show.
Yes, exactly. And it's having a producer, I think, is, I don't want to say it's crucial, but I want to say that it will relieve a lot of pressure when you're running the show, because when you have a talk show and you're bringing people on to interview as, you know, guests on your show, and whether it's guests or having your co-host or what have you, you know, there's things that you want to pop up on the screen, and if you're diverting your attention to that, then you're not having your attention on the audience. You're not having your attention on, you know, the co-host or guests. And so that's why I think it's you know, having a producer is awesome. It relieves a lot of pressure for you, and it makes things run more smoothly. And it's more like seamless, I guess would be kind of the word, you know, as long as your producer, you know, somewhat knows what they're doing. They have to at least somewhat know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to produce many shows yourself before you start producing shows for other people.
Yeah, it can't be like, oh, I want to be a producer, just like that, because really you should know, you know, how to run the show in the background by having your own, and you know, learning how to operate it and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Then you can know, then you can appreciate all the frustrations, right, that the person on screen would have, and then that you're relieving those frustrations for them.
Well, you're taking care of a lot of things behind the scene. You're taking care of comments, you're moving guests out the lobby and into the broadcast, and in addition to that, you're actually listening to what people say and showing things at the right time. I mean, within the show, we can display images, we can share screens, and that's the cue. It comes from the host of the show.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's being able to read those cues. And Tina was saying reciprocal producing. I think that's probably a good term for it. And I think it will happen more and more as people get to know each other and appear on each other's shows, and then decide that they're going to help. Because if you can just concentrate on talking, and you don't have to keep looking down at the comments and that sort of thing, then it's a lot easier, isn't it?
Definitely. It just, like I said, you know, it relieves pressure, it relieves stress, and it allows you to just be you and be present in your show. So you're having a producer, even if you're not going to co-produce, I mean, you hire a producer, hire somebody to run your show for an hour, you know, however, if it's a half-hour show, you can do a 15-minute show. It doesn't matter. Just your show this is your show. If you want your show to be 4 hours, make it 4 hours. What's your reason for doing your show? But, you know, just having somebody help you with it, like I said, whether it's hiring a producer or doing, you know, a co-produce, what have you called, a swap or whatever she called it. I like that. Yeah. So
Reciprocal was the word of the day.
reciprocal. Yeah, reciprocal. That's a great idea.
Right. I've got a comment from Alan who's saying, after the infamous BBC interview with the man's toddlers walking in, nothing should faze anyone. No,
Yeah.
if my children appeared behind me now, then I would be shocked and surprised, as one's actually in Melbourne and the other is 150 miles away. Right, and Tina is also saying that that clip has become, well, it went viral, and Tina's
Yeah.
enjoyed watching it many times.
Yeah,
And
that's so funny. I
yeah,
love that one. If you haven't seen it, go check it. I'm not sure how to Google it, but oh my gosh, it's a really funny um, incident that happened, while this reporter was reporting, and it's it's a great testament to how, just be yourself, enjoy your show, and have fun with it, and don't let any boo-boos stress you out, because you're human. You're human, and people for, forgive the humanness in us when things go wrong, and they love to see how you are going to, what your reactions are going to be, or how you're going to handle a situation that doesn't go so well. And so, if you can just keep your calm about it, and make it through that situation easily without being all flustered and stressed out, then it just shows people that you can see the humor in mistakes, and you just keep going.
totally. I mean, that's what you've got to do. You've got to be able to carry on no matter what happens. And if you
Yes.
saw the earlier part of the show, when I disappeared, then Lynda disappeared, then I came back, and then Lynda came back, and then the comments weren't working. We're still here, and we're still talking away. We've still got the agenda, and we're working our way through it. If you've got any questions or observations, then please do post them. I can't feature them on the screen, and I'm going to talk to be live momentarily. But I think one of the things that if you've got a talk show, and we've said what is a talk show, several people actually getting together to talk about a particular topic, how do you actually decide what to talk about?
Well, for me, because I also have another talk show called Living Live, and on Living Live, it depends on who I'm interviewing. I interview a bunch of different people. So, for example, today I'm interviewing a woman named Barbara Ames, and Barbara's topic is, she's talking about a new kind of product she's created called spot casting. So it's kind of like webinars, but she's discovered a way to make it so you can do, or like those summits. Like people will hold summits, and they're 20 people, they'll have 40 people, whatever. And you're like, who's going to watch 40 interviews? So she's figured out a way to really, really hone in and spot cast her people that she's interviewing. And so we're going to be talking about that today. So, when I'm talking to her on the show, I'm going to be talking about what that is. What does it mean? How is it going to help people grow their business? How is it going to help them grow their list? And so for me, it depends on who I'm interviewing. And my show, Living Live, is really just about, sharing people with my audience. It's having an opportunity to talk to people about what they're doing, what they've done. I'll be interviewing the founder of Constant Contact, which has over 600,000 users, and it's an email system. And so I'll be talking to him about Constant Contact, how it came about, and because I'm very curious. I have a lot of questions, and I used to be called nosy, but I'm like, no, I'm not nosy. I'm curious, totally different.
Yep, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and so just for me, questions come up as I'm speaking to people. So that's actually something I want to talk about really quick.
Yeah, sure.
Oftentimes, when I have an interview scheduled with somebody, they'll send me an email and say, "Oh, ask me, what questions are you going to ask me?" And I say, I don't know, because the first question I'm going to ask you is, how did you do whatever it is you're doing? And then from there, we're going to go on, and I'm going to ask you questions based on what you're actually saying. So I do a lot of listening. I listen really, really intently to my interviewee, because I have questions will pop up while they're speaking. And then other people, though, will have an agenda. Like maybe you will have an agenda of all these particular questions that you want to ask. But here's the thing. I want you to realize that no matter who you're interviewing, you are in charge. This is your show. So if you don't want to have if somebody says, send me the pre advanced questions or whatever. I've had people do that, and I just tell them I don't have those kinds of questions. I'm going to ask you while we're doing the interview. And the reason I bring this up is because if you're like I used to be, which I used to be a people pleaser, if somebody had sent me that message a couple years ago, I would have immediately come up with questions to ask them so that they could prep for it. Because a lot of times they'll say, I want to prep for the interview. And now, though, I'm like, no, that's not the way my show operates. This is how my show operates. So you decide, what do you want from your show? You are in charge. What day of the week do you want to do it? What time of the day do you want to do it? You can do midnight if you want. People will be willing to be interviewed at midnight. I've seen shows where people are being interviewed really, really late at night. I don't do mine that late, but I've seen shows like that. So decide what you want, what's best for you. And then I say, then think about your audience, because really you're the most important. And then next is your audience. So then just make sure that you figure out what you want. What do you want to deliver? What result do you want? And who do you want to have on your show? And then make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Most of the time, you are in total control of what's going on. But sometimes, at the moment, we cannot see your comments, but we cannot display your comments, but we can see them. And thank you to Tina for advising BeLive.tv. I did the same as well whilst Lynda was talking. And let's hope something is sorted out. These things happen. Cool. So all is well. And Lottie is saying that I can't display the comment on screen, but she was actually watching us from the BeLive in 5 page, which raises a point. If you're not watching from the live video page, then please click the link up above, and that will take you directly to here, and we'll be able to see and read your comments. And Lottie is praising what you said, Lynda, and decide what you want from your show. People adapt, think about your audience, and that gets results. So thank you. And well, wow. And our byword of the day is do not get stressed. Whether you're on your own or whether you're with 2 people or 4 people, do not get stressed. Just carry on with the show. Now, one of the things that is important, which you mentioned earlier, is video and sound quality. We'd like to just talk about that for a moment, and I'll give my 2 cents as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people who have talk shows out there who are using their phones. Like I'm on my phone right now, and basically, actually, the reason I'm on my phone right now is because when I got to the office building, it doesn't even open. It's not open yet, so I couldn't go in. I was like, okay, I'll be doing this on my phone today. But normally, when I do my show, because it's my show, right? I'm in an office somewhere. I have a webcam that I use. It's a good quality webcam. It's a HD 1080p Logitech. I love it. It's actually a wide one, so it's kind of cool. It picks up different, instead of just picking up what's in front of me, it picks up on the side as well. And then I also have a Blue Yeti microphone, which this was highly recommended by a lot of podcast users that I know. And the Blue Yeti YETI microphone is awesome. I think it's on sale right now for about $85 US dollars. And it comes in different colors. When I got it, it only had silver. So I was kind of bummed because I saw that they have all these different colors. And I'm like, now I got to upgrade, get a new microphone. But having good sound quality as the host or hostess really is, I don't want to say it's crucial again, because nothing is crucial. This is just video. Nothing is crucial. But I want to say that it will improve the quality of your show if the sound quality that you have is good. So if you're going to get a Blue Yeti or, the Snowball, or there's a whole bunch of different microphones out there, do some review first to find out which ones are the better ones, because there's a bunch of microphones out there, cheaper ones, less expensive, cheaper, and cheaper quality. And then you might as well just be on it. Like right now, I'm on an earbud. You might as well just use an earbud if you're going to buy a cheap microphone. So I'm not saying don't do it. Don't use cheap quality stuff. It's just if you want your show to have a better sound quality, I recommend getting a better microphone and getting a better camera. My camera costs $20. Well worth it. I love that camera. It's really great. So here's the thing too, Stephen, is you cannot control your guests. You can't control what quality they have. You can't control their lighting, but you can control yours. So make sure that you control, the lighting that you have, so that you don't have, if you have windows behind you, that's really bad because it makes you darken out. It makes you kind of look like a shadow. So just make sure that when you go to do your videos, that you look at how you look on that screen. Because if you want your show to be popular, if you want to be well known, the better quality you have, the better chances you have of having a bigger audience and growing your audience.
Right, and sound advice from Chuck, who's actually saying also wear earbuds, and your guests should wear earbuds as well, because otherwise you'll get feedback. There are two things. One is the feedback if you're not wearing earbuds, because it comes from your own speakers, and there are some people fortunate not to have the problem, but for most mortals, including us, then we've got to have earbuds in so that we don't cause a problem for everybody who's actually watching. Sound's important, because when you're live and you're on the show and people are listening, they will carry on listening wherever else they go. But if the sound quality is bad, they just stop listening. Yeah. So the sound quality is in some ways more important than the video, because when people are on Facebook, they will page hop and they'll go and look at things. They'll surf, they'll browse, they'll have a look around and listen to you whilst they're actually doing that. And if you're doing that at the moment, good on you. There's no reason not to, because what we're actually talking about is it's not, you've seen us, you know what we look like, you just want to hear what we're talking about, and we accept that. As far as microphones are concerned, then I don't have a Blue Yeti. I don't have a Snowball. I've just got, as recommended by Udemy, I'm going to go full screen here.
Cool.
My sound is coming from that, which is
wow.
a Sony lapel microphone, which clips on easily. And because it's up against my body, then it's cutting out any background noise, any reverb, anything at all. And that was the princely sum of $25. So if we combine your $20 camera with my $25 mic, then for less than $50, you can have your own setup. Now, getting guests on your show is to actually on your talk show is an art. And basically, it's about building relationships, isn't it? I mean, you can't invite. Well, would you invite somebody you don't know as a guest on your show?
I do it all the time. I do it all the time. So I of course invite people I do know, because it's a lot easier. but I do also reach out to people I don't know, and they respond. I want to say probably about 25% of the time. So I figure if you reach out to 100 people, that you're going to get about 25 of those people to respond, which is awesome. I've had, some, like, there's this one gentleman, his name is John Lee Dumas. And for those who are podcasters, you might have heard of him. He did a podcast every day for, a couple of years, and he's got over 1,000 podcast episodes. And so I was actually attending an event, and he was one of the speakers. And so I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, John, I'd love to have you on my show." Never met him before. And he goes, "Okay." He said, "Everybody who asks me for something in person, I give it to them." And I was like, thank goodness I asked him. So I got him on my show, and he is an influencer. He actually charges $5,000 to be on his podcast. And so he's an influencer, has a lot of followers. And so it was cool to be able to interview him. But yeah, I reach out to people I don't know all the time. If there's somebody I'm interested in, I'll just reach out to them. And because I'm not really worried about the yes, I'm worried about, I just want to ask. And so that's one thing for me, is I do reach out to people I don't know. But I make sure it's compelling. It has to be compelling for them.
Oh yeah, it's got to be a win-win situation, hasn't it? It's got to be something for them as well as yourself. I mean, I'm fortunate. The circles that we actually move in, I'm looking forward to later this month having a chat with Ian Anderson Gray, who is well known from his blogging and from Twitter and from every social media site you can actually imagine. And we've never met, but we know of each other. So I asked him outright. I said, should we do a show together? And he said yes. Now, it could equally well have said no. Because this is a gentleman who appears at such events as Social Media Marketing World as a speaker, and he's well respected by everybody in the business. And
Which
he's a
I'll
Brit.
be there, by the way. I'll be at Social Media Marketing World.
Oh, brilliant!
I'm going to be a speaker concierge, where I get to interact with the speakers and help them out. And so I do that because there's a purpose behind that. I'm volunteering because I want to volunteer my time, and they need speaker concierges. And my purpose for that is to get them as interviewees on my show. And so I love to insert myself when I'm volunteering. Insert myself into places that are going to help me as well as benefit them. The event that I'm volunteering for. So I'm excited. Woo woo.
Brilliant. I mean, it's 7,000 people meeting up.
Yeah, but that goes to your
weekend.
point, Stephen. I'm going to build relationships with those speakers while I'm there. And so because I'm building these relationships, when I ask them to be on my show, it's more likely that they'll say yes. A lot of times they're going to say yes anyway. Here's the thing. Most people, especially people who have a business, want to be interviewed. Most people, they want to be interviewed. So when you reach out to them, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes because they want that exposure. Some may actually look you up and say, oh, well, they don't have many followers or what have you, but that's okay. Just reach out to them and ask them anyway.
I totally agree with that, because the worst you're going to get is no. In which case you go on to the next person and ask them.
Next.
And if somebody says no, they might still remember you. And when you ask them again, they might say yes.
Yeah. Oh, get this. What if you ask them and they say no, and then a year later they're reaching out to you and saying, hey, I'd like to be on your show. That means that they've been watching you and seen that you're blowing up now.
That brings us to another point. If you're going to have a talk show, if it's a one-off, fair enough. No problem with it being a one-off. But if you're going to have a talk show and it's going to go out on Facebook, it's got to go out on a regular basis. It's on a set day and a set time. If you do anything other than that, people are going to struggle. What happens is, if you go out at a regular time, on a regular day, people remember that. And if you don't turn up, they will come along and tell you you've been very naughty and not turned up on the appointed day and the appointed time. And that's because you've got to know your audience well, and they're you, and there's a connection been made. And it's only right that you respect everybody who's actually watching the show and turn up and do the show on time. And do start on time. We've noticed in the last week you can actually start your shows now a couple of minutes early on some occasions. But never, ever, ever be late in starting a show. And if something goes wrong in your show, just carry on. Yeah.
Yeah. And another point to that, because mentioning starting on time and all of that, is when you start your show. Don't wait for people to come on to your show, because it's really the majority of the people who are going to watch your show are going to be replay viewers, and they don't want to sit around watching you waiting for people to come on your show. So just get right into it. Get into the show. Start giving that value. I'm not sure if we have on our agenda, Stephen, to talk about like actually creating the show and making it happen. Do we have anything about that?
We somewhere in this agenda, which sort of grew and grew, because it's got topics on here from yourself, from me, from Cheryl. Where to start? Is that a good one?
Where to start? Yeah, where to start? Start with an idea, right? I guess that's the place to start. But then after that, what do you do? So there's a lot of behind the scenes things that need to happen when you have a talk show. For example, I use a program, I know Stephen uses this too, Trello, Trello.com. And Trello is where I organize everything. So for example, for my show, I've interviewed over 280 people so far. If I didn't have an organizational system, I would just be out of my mind. I'm already out of my mind, but I don't need that disorganization to help me to be even more out of my mind. So I've created this like template that every single time I have somebody who's going to be on my show, I use that template for that person. So it has this long checklist. I mean, there's probably, if I looked and counted, it's probably about 25 different things I do for each person, not each show, each person. So you want to make sure you get everything from them in advance. Here was something, a big lesson I learned. Before you schedule them on your show, make sure you have everything, because otherwise you're going to be chasing them down. So you need a picture of them, right? So you need their bio. You want to be able to introduce them the way they'd like to be introduced. You want to know, like, do they have any particular questions that they want you to ask them? Like, I like to ask them that question. I usually don't ask them the questions they want me to, but at least it gives me an idea of what they want me to ask them. Because again, my style is off the cuff. But if you want to have, ask them particular questions they want to ask you, then you want to have those ready. So I have people sign up using a jot form. I created a jot form, interview style jot form. And then that gives me, so I have all of their information, their headshot, their bio, any social media links they want, all the kinds of questions that I have on that jot form. And then I have them schedule their interview, and I use Calendly. So I just showing you through my process is that I'm like, okay, Stephen, I'd love to have you on my show. He says yes. I send him a link to the interview questionnaire. He completes it, and when he's done completing it, he automatically gets an email saying, here's a link to schedule your interview. So now he's scheduled that interview. In the meantime, on my jot form, I'm filling out that I sent him the link. I received the link. He scheduled his interview. I've created a folder that has his picture in it and his bio in it. So I have all these different things on my checklist. I created a Google slide. You can use Google Slides to create a transparency that goes with, like, if you want to have logos, if you want to have different designs on your show. So then I do that, and then I created a Canva document that has pictures and everything, what the show is about. I scheduled it in Be Live. I did a mini chat. I created a bot. So my point is that there's a lot of moving pieces. Don't get stressed out about this, though. Don't get stressed out, because it's not required to do this. This is just what I do in order to keep me on track, to make sure I don't miss something. And if you miss something, it's no big deal. Life goes on, and you'll just learn from that you missed something. So, but if you're interested in all these things that I'm sharing with you, go ahead and send me a private message, and we can connect, and I'll go ahead and show you what I do. I'm more than happy to do that. But yeah, behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes to make it happen. Like before we got in here, Steven's sending messages out to different people, out to different groups, and making sure that the messenger bot is set up to go out. So there's a whole bunch of things that happen behind the scenes.
You better believe it. You better believe it. I mean, if we go from the start of today, which was pretty late for me, but you've actually got to contact everybody who's on the show. You've got to make sure that they can actually be there on the day of the show. It's pointless saying a week in advance, I'll see you next Thursday. What you've got to do is make contact on the day or the day before. And unfortunately, Cheryl couldn't join us today, but she will be with us later in the week. And you can discuss it. Now, as soon as I knew that, I told Lynda. And Lynda and I then both knew that it was a two-person show, unless you join us on camera by typing guest. Okay, if you type guest in the comments, you can actually join us on camera. And I've just seen a comment from the live video hub, and it's not me, so it can only be, I don't know who it is. Right, okay. Now, you did you did a great tour there of applications that you're actually using. I just want to go through them again, just so that people can make a note of them. Jotform, is it free to use?
Jotform is free up to a certain number of forms. I'm not sure if it's one form or 3 forms. So it's just jotform.com. You can use it for a whole bunch of different things. Also, if you charge for people to be on your show, you can take payment directly through Jotform too. And you can sync or link, integrate MailChimp, or maybe you have Constant Contact or Infusionsoft. You can integrate those with Jotform. So when somebody signs up to be a guest on your show, you can make it so that automatically adds them to your email list, which is cool too. So that's Jotform. Yeah, it's 1 to 3 forms for free, and then so many. Just go check it out. Okay. I have a paid version because I have like 20 forms. So.
Right. Okay. The second one you mentioned is Calendly, which I use too, and it's free for 15-minute appointments. So you can set it up so that people can click a link and they can see when you're available any day of the week, as far in advance as you want, and they can book an appointment with you there and then. You get notification, they get notification, it goes on your Google Calendar, it goes on their Google Calendar, and it's just so simple and straightforward to use.
And a lot of people ask this question about Calendly. So what happens is you connect it to your calendar. So you don't. So what you do is if you book an appointment on your Google Calendar, it automatically tells Calendly that that time's no longer available. So it's an automatic integration. So it's really, really cool.
You caught me out there. I thought I was producing the show, then not a part of it. Okay.
You are
right,
part of the show, you're co-host.
These things happen. And next you mentioned Google Slides.
Yeah. So Google Slides is cool. You can create all kinds of backgrounds for your for your show that you can show up on the screen. So for example, if I like to have the logos of me and my guest on the screen, so I'll create transparency where I have my logo that's above me and then the guest logo will be above them. And so with Google Slides, all you do is you create whatever you want to be on your screen, and then when you go to save it, you go save it. It's like save as download or something like that, and then you select PNG, and that'll make it a transparency so that your face will still be on there, but the slide will be up there, because anything that doesn't have a picture or image on it is transparent. I love it. I love it. It's so much fun.
It's an easy way to make frames for BeLive.tv, because it's exactly the right size. So you can experiment with frames on there and it's just create a blank document, and then you can put your frame around it, download it, transparent as Lynda said, and all good.
Yes.
Right, okay, the next one you mentioned is Canva.
Canva. We love Canva. Yeah, Canva is I love to use Canva for everything, actually, because Canva you can use for pictures. You can put words on there. You can move everything around exactly how you want. It's basically the best way for me to describe Canva is, and I hate to use this word, but I'm going to use it anyway, is the poor man's Photoshop.
Go on then. I'll let you.
And it's not really the poor man's Photoshop. It's really the easy man's Photoshop, because it's like Photoshop. You can have the same results as Photoshop, except Photoshop is a much better quality, but it's also it's not as user friendly. Canva, I got right in there. My friend showed me how. She spent like 10 minutes with me, showed me how to use it. Boom, there I'm using it. Photoshop, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, trying to learn how to use it, and it's just not as intuitive for me. And so I gravitate back to Canva every time. I tried Photoshop a long time, and it just never really sat very easily with me.
No, I mean, that's about software. You either fall in love with it straight away and think that's a fantastic, simple to use, easy, straightforward design that gives the results that I'm looking for, or you think, and you're saying that shot was one of those.
Photoshop.
No, and in good news, I'm going to reuse this now. I can display some comments.
Oh, that's good.
We're getting better. we're getting improvement. Every time ladies go live comments, I can actually see it. So can I see Chuck's comments? No, ladies go live. You seem to be on a winning streak today, because we can display your comments, but we can't display anybody else's. So it would appear that something is happening. So this looks like to me a Facebook update taking place, and they've got the letter L in the alphabet, and and they're going through companies first. So thank you, ladies go live. And just to check, no, Brad, I can see your comment. I think you pay £10 a month, and there's a free version too. So there you are, an answer to your question. Okay, and the last thing you mentioned was ManyChat bots, which are our friend, aren't they?
Yes, you talk about that.
Okay. Right, as RJ is here as well. And if anybody wants to leap on screen, then just type guest. If you want to know more about Lynda and myself and the special offers we've got running during 5 days live, then all you need to do is to type FDL in the comments, and that's FDL and 5 days live, FDL, and you'll be taken off to Facebook Messenger, which is where our bot resides today. And you'll get to know more about Lynda, and Lynda has a special offer, and I've got a special offer too. You'll see our bios, you'll see our profiles, you'll see links to our websites and our Facebook pages, and also, as I said, I can't say it too often, links to the offers we've got as well. ManyChat is a way of building conversations on a one-to-one basis, because it uses Facebook Messenger, where all messages are in fact personal. They're all one-to-one. But you can send one message to many people and start many conversations. So before today's show, I sent out a broadcast 10 minutes before the show saying we were going live and giving people the opportunity to actually come and watch us or to catch the replay. Now, that means that I don't have to run around sharing everywhere, and people know that they're actually going to get a message in Messenger which will tell them we're going live in 10 minutes. Again, as we said earlier, if you're doing a show, you've got to do it at a regular time and day so that people can remember it. If you're doing a broadcast, then you've got to do that at a regular time as well. Now, I always do mine 10 minutes before the show for another reason, that it would catch anybody who's actually online at that time, and they might hang around from the 10 minutes. But the beauty of it is that after the show, you can have one-to-one conversations with anybody who's actually commented. And that's how we... Sorry, I'm just in a message. Sorry, right, that's how we actually communicate with people, is through many chat bots, but it's us behind the bots. It's Lynda and I talking to you, and even if it's a broadcast message, it's one that we've written. And messenger bots will be covered in our show on Friday, when RJ and I are joined by Annie Mura. Now, just taking a break for a moment, the show tomorrow
Uh-oh, where'd Stephen go? I don't know, I can't hear him. So, should I assume he's here or not? Stephen, what happened? Where'd you go? He must have dropped himself down. Okay, so I'm going to assume that Stephen is gone. And so talking about interviewing and conducting interviews, I personally, okay, here's the thing. If you're a person who is curious and you ask a lot of questions, maybe people tell you that you ask too many questions, and so you think you're nosy or whatever. But then again, discover really that is just your curiosity. Curiosity is a good thing. So if this is a topic that you're interested in listening to, I highly, highly recommend it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out, because Stephen might be talking while I'm talking. I just realized that happened one time. Oh, wait.
Okay.
There he is. He's back. He's back.
Right, now I'm just going to guess that I was moved out of the broadcast because we could actually get comments on the broadcast, but
I want to share something, Stephen, about interviews, because I've conducted like 280 interviews so far, and what I want to share with people is that you might be thinking, you know what, I don't know about conducting interviews. I really don't know what to say. I don't know what to ask and what have you. But just what you do with your interviews is like you're having a conversation with somebody. It's just a conversation. You're asking them questions. But I want to help you see what it can lead to, because of all the interviews that I've conducted last year, it was actually February of last year, I ended up conducting interviews on the red carpet at the Academy Awards after party. And that happened because I had become so comfortable interviewing people online that I was able to be part of this red carpet event. So you never know where something is going to lead you to. So yeah, I highly recommend watching the show tomorrow, talking about interviews. Stephen's making himself go in and out and everything is like all craziness. What's going on over there?
Right, sorry.
Testing out some new stuff.
I was just in the camera. I had to come. I was forced to go out and come back in. I was dropped into the lobby.
Oh.
Right. Okay. Just to.
I don't know that one.
And now Alexa's joining in. Oh, it's all going well. Now, just as a note for everybody who's watching now, and you've got your own shows later today. At the moment, I can display comments from pages. That's
Okay.
Chuck's comment. So take another of Chuck's comments. Ladies Go Live, I can display comments from Ladies Go Live. What I can't do at the moment is display Lottie's last comment. All right, okay, and I'm not sure where the comments are showing or not. I'm going to have to watch the replay. It's been most confusing today. Thanks for bearing with us. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
But see, we just carried on our conversation like it's no big deal, because it really isn't any big deal, and this is actually good for people to experience what's happening during a talk show. Because things don't always go as planned.
Things
actually, how often do they go as planned? I'm not sure.
Well, when we're doing Talker Tuesday, we had a 10-week run or an 8-week run when virtually everything went right.
Yeah,
which was
that's
good.
True.
So we're looking forward to tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. in the UK, which makes it 12 p.m. Pacific.
Yes.
3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. in the UK. Lynda is hosting Talker Tuesday with Anita and Mary, and the topic is near-death experiences, and you're more than welcome to actually join in. You'll find it on the Living Live page, and I'm looking forward to that as well, because I'm sat in the background producing it, and it's going to be a fantastic show.
So really quickly, Stephen, because I know we're almost done here, but just to kind of wrap it up about Taco Tuesday, what's cool is that we're going to run for 12 weeks, and we're starting tomorrow, and our first topic is near-death experiences. And then the next topic we have is being game ready, like how do you get yourself ready for the new year? And then the next topic, so that would be the 15th of January, and then the 22nd of January, we're going to be talking to a Holocaust survivor. And so the reason I wanted to bring these up is because we actually have our shows scheduled for the next 12 weeks. We have the different shows, the topics scheduled and everything. We're still looking for guests to be on the show. We have January pretty much covered, except for January 29th. But we're still looking for guests to be on the show. So Stephen, if you could show this on the screen, that would be awesome. Go to livinglive.tv/TOT, which is Taco Tuesday, TOT guest. Go there, check out the different topics that we're still looking for. You were still looking for guests to be on the show, and you would just apply. Again, it's going to take you to a JOT form. It's going to have you fill out the JOT form, which is an application, and then you'll apply to be a guest on the show. And if you're like a little nervous about that, do it anyway. I highly recommend you do it anyway, because anything that's making you a little bit nervous, you need to do. That's the best way for you to break through any fears that you have. But the reason I was bringing this up is because related to talk shows is, it's a good idea to kind of at least forecast out a couple shows. If nothing else, at least 2 shows, just so you have an idea of what you're going to do and what kind of guests you're going to bring onto the show. Scheduling our guests 3 months out is a great idea. I had one gentleman I scheduled 6 months out on my show because that was the next time he was available. So I just got him on my calendar. And then, a week or 2 before the show, I just kept on connecting with him throughout the 6 months. But a week or 2, before the show, I made sure he was still available. And so, get your show filled up. And what kind of topics do you want to talk about? And let people know what your talk show is about. And then next thing you know, people will be sending people to you. It's so cool because I have people all the time tagging, hey, this person would be great for you to interview on your show, Lynda. And what that means is people know I have a show. People know that I want to interview people, and so they share that with me. So after a while, your show will be known for what it is known for, what it is that you do, and you'll see that it'll become easier and easier to get guests because people will be sending them your way. It's so awesome.
It is, and that's quite an invitation. If you've got a topic you want to talk about, and you want to talk about it with Lynda and Mary and Anita, then just let Lynda know, and you'll be on the first series of Talk on Tuesday, because there's going to be a series 2.
No guarantee that you will be on. Because
Okay, you
if I
may
get
be
10
on.
applications, yeah, I can't have like if 10 people for one topic, I have to narrow it down to
But
2 or 3. So
it's like when the competition for being your co-host started. There were 27 applications, weren't there?
yes, yeah. And we only had room for 16 to be auditioned. So what Steven's alluding to is that for Taco Tuesday, I decided I wanted to find my co-host using American Idol style voting. And so we actually went through an audition process. It was a lot of fun, really great people were, everybody was amazing. And so we let the audience, I decided I'm going to let the audience choose. That way Steven and I didn't have to choose. So it's kind of cheating,
Well,
but
we'd have picked everybody. I mean, being
yes,
honest, there were so many good people that we've met. I mean, we met 14 new people. Sorry,
yeah.
back to you, Lynda.
So if you're going to have a co-host on your show, you can do it that way. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of moving parts, but it was a lot of fun. And if you have a particular person in mind, here's what I recommend. Instead of saying, "Hey, will you be my co-host?" I highly recommend you first bringing them on your show to interview them, so that you're interviewing them so that you can see if there's an energy that is an equal energy that you actually want to have this person on your show, because you don't know what the person is really, really going to be like on video until they're on video. So,
Is everyone right as a guest for a show?
do what?
The question is everybody suitable for being a guest on the show?
Oh, well, there's different topics. So, for example, if you go again to livinglive.tv/TOT guest, for Taco, if you're referring to Taco Tuesday,
Right.
what you'll see is there's actually, I think, 8 different shows that we are looking for guests, and it tells you the topic and it tells you the date. So check to see if you're available that date. They're all at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK. And then if that topic is a topic that you can speak about as a guest, then go ahead and apply. And you can apply to be on more than one show. So just check box all the different topics that you fit for.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
As you said a moment ago, we're coming to the end of this show. But unusually, everybody can cast their minds back to Blab, we have an after show, which is starting on Twitch, hopefully in about 5 minutes' time. And
Okay.
if you caught this show, you can come along to Twitch and join. Well, it's whoever turns up. There are no rules to this. It's just a discussion, roundtable discussion. If you want to join us on camera, you can. If you want to ask more questions, you can. If you want to see the comments displayed on screen, you can. And that's the link to follow. Lynda, it's been a pleasure to spend the last hour just talking about something we both love, which is live
Yes.
video and talk shows.
Yes.
Would you like to close the show?
Yes, if you are a person who has had an inkling, an idea, I think I want to do a talk show. I think this would be a lot of fun. Just do it, because get yourself out there and start doing the actions, taking the actions to receive and to have what you want. Because if you want a talk show, again, when I first had my idea, which was over a year and a half ago now, I waited a year before I did anything with it. Don't wait. Just do it now, because you're going to have a blast. You're going to have a blast. And if it ends up that you end up not liking it, just stop it, but at least you tried it and you got yourself out there and you tried something. So yeah, you want to do a talk show? Just do it. And if you're looking for people to interview, I'm available.
Me too.
Just putting it out there. I'm always available for interviews. Okay. I love being interviewed. And I love interviewing, and I love being interviewed.
So from Lynda and me, it's goodbye, and we'll see you on Twitch shortly. And Lynda will definitely be live tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. Take care for now. Thanks for watching. We love you. Bye.
Bye.